Now, Stoko is technically the 100 animated project from Disney. This show must be at least handled right because they do not want the same incident of the 100 animated movie from Disney called Wish that you remember or you try to forget because how terrible that film was. That was hugely disappointing, impulsively trying to grab the essence of Disney, and they did the sort of plain dry essence, but all of that, they attempted to not repeat the same mistake with Stuko of 100 animated project from Disney. And you know what? The first episode, I have to say, it was pretty interesting. It was kind of surprising because the whole story, or at least what the whole plot synopsis is, it was sort of kind of inspired by Dr. Moreau Island. If you never heard of that famous IP, if you're not, a small explanation is basically a mad scientist who pretend to be God, basically kind of fuses human and animal DNA as one creature, creating a new type of human, and that sort of went awry, and the new subhuman race kind of attacked Moreau because they're not their slaves, they're their own creatures, they're not the new gods. And that's basically the whole plot of the book. What made me aspire about this or Pacific genre. Yes, this is sort of a genre of kind of creating creatures in an island that nobody knows. Only a mad scientist decides to become God. And that's just a old trope, specifically from the 70s, because when you start watching the promotion, the show, it feels very 70s. Even how they promote it feels from that Pacific time period. That sort of giant kaiju, evil genius, driving people insane in their own island. But it's sort of a family-friendly approach that it was kind of fun and interesting because the whole story, at least the first episode, especially a bunch of middle schoolers were sort of selected to go in Mrs. Moon or Dr. Moon Island to basically learn more stuff, be more ahead of education, in other words. But that was sort of a trick. She wanted them to be there just because. I did never fully explain it in the first episode because I'm just reviewing the first episode, and it was sort of interesting because it feels something from like Johnny Quest or 007, someone from, once again, the 70s. Now, all the kids do have a strong personality. Each one of them, you can easily kind of categorize them as sort of a stereotype or cliche, but some of them not really. Some of them like the new cliches that not yet fully explored, but you get the idea. Each one of them, they're strong enough to understand and aware enough they actually are kind of screwed in a way. They just want to basically survive the island. Like the very beginning, they started playing a game who got the chance to basically eat the first basically meal of the day because the doctor sent them the sort of like a food crate and only lasted 1 week, so I had to be careful what they eat. But unfortunately, they're playing this game to wait the food to come. This new half human, half cracker steals their food, and they're panicking. And they decide to go straight to the doctor, and the doctor says, "It's not my problem. It's your problem. Like I have nothing to do with this." And how I like how the smart high schoolers kind of describe, well, it's kind of is your problem because you're the one who made them. You should be responsible for our situation. Logically, it makes sense. The whole point of the doctor trying to make saying that's how life is. Unfair. You survive. Do whatever you can to survive. Even that this are a bunch of kids are between maybe 11 to 12 or 13. All of them are very intelligent and smart, high of their own basic degrees of the smartest kids in school, but they never know how to survive but themselves. And but if because of this, they have to sort of figure out how to, okay, we listen to the doctor, we take our food back. But they just don't know how to tackle it. They want to talk to them, talk to the creatures to see what happened. We could play a sort of game, a sort of a face-off or something like that. And that's basically the whole episode. Serve learning a lesson how reality is unfair. You do what you have. And that's sort of the approach of the first episode. It was actually quite enjoyable because there's a lot of things that I kind of wondering how the the doctor convinced the teachers and their parents to drop the kids. How long the kids realized this was sort of a scam. They don't really answer none of these questions, but I kind of wanted to know more, and that's a really good thing. Of course, before I breaking down, my name is Rachel. I like to talk about animation, not just animation to reviews, first impressions, cartoon theories, and sometimes, if I have some spare time, cartoon breaking news. Of course, you'll like how it's going, like to help my channel, put a like, comment, and subscribe. That's the only thing you need to do. If not, that's fine. If you do, thank you. Because of you, I'm getting close to my main goal of 2,000 subscribers. And yes, I'm getting close every single day because of people like you. People who like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you. Now, let's get started with the review. Now, one thing I really do notice, if the first episode screams old-fashioned Disney adventure. What I mean is, have this sort of kind of fun little areas, like for example, how the kids live this sort of kind of, I want to say boat, but it's sort of like a Titanic type of ship. They live very safely, but how they get out, they have to like maybe use a slide or a swing. Something very fun and creative. Something that if you're a kid, you always wanted to do. Like, can you jump off a basic boat using a slide? And that's sort of the approach of sort of the dynamic of the world. Like, depends where you go is how creative and fun could actually be with the right writers in the writer's room, figuring out how you get out of this, but the most funniest, outrageous way ever. Yeah, I feel that when you start with the first couple minutes of the first episode, it feels very fun and creative. Even that this is just the beginning, I don't know the show will be hold out this interesting and fun. It feels something like Phineas and Ferb a next sort of adventure onwards. That's the best way to describe it, but with a more personality. Because each kid, I said at the very beginning, has a very strong personality, especially one with the glasses. I still don't know all the names, but usually she is sort of creepy, the main lead, or at least the charge of the one who she is the most confident, at least of that. But each one do have time to shine, at least the first episode. But other than that, something else that grabbed my attention is sort of how it feels. I said at the very beginning, sort of 70s. I mean, sort of 70s futuristic. They jump into a rail and go to the doctor or use something very specific to go to one point to another. Feels something out of the Incredibles movie. Like, you see the Incredibles movie, they sort of stuck in the 70s-ish. You see how they sort of jump to the island, to the mid city, but they have this sort of kind of future tech, but it feels super outdated. Something like you think sort of the 70s things from the future. This is how it feels. It feels something like the Incredibles movie or the James Bond era of the 70s type of film. That's what I mean. It feels, has the vibe, understand what it make it interesting but fun. And that give me a lot of hope of this new animated project because it looks very creative and fun, and we just see only one sub creature. Possibly we have other sub creatures, the fungus creatures. We don't know if they're hostile or not. You also have the kaiju creatures. They not only showed once in the first episode, but we don't know what they're part of. Of all the other sub creatures are afraid of the Dr. Moon, her mad scientist, or she just leave them to do whatever they want. A lot of questions that you kind of interested in, but yet you don't know can actually pull it off, because this could be easily turn bad if they don't know what they're doing or they were sort of reaching too high. But other than that, it feels very confident. It feels they know they need to make sure the kids feel in danger, because there are times it kind of feels in danger, other times it feels they're basically the smartest people in the island besides the doctor, but you could tell they trying to have fun with this. But I don't know how you felt about this first episode, because it came out about the first day of the New Year's. I don't know if people liked it or not, because the people did have some maybe positive feedback. When they saw the first trailer, people were kind of excited, but not fully, because they're not sure will come out good, but it feels very good. It feels very well handled and well thought of. But once more, it's the first episode. Who knows? This could be any good at the very end. I don't know you. How you felt about this? Do you enjoy it? Do you hate it? Tell me down below. Let me know. Honestly, I got nothing else to say. Just thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and have a wonderful day. Bye.